Good evening.
Good evening.
こんばんは。ベネット・クローダです。
クローダ・ベネットです。
ベネットです。
クローダです。おーっと。ごめん。ブー。
はい。今日も始まりました。
始まりました。ベネット・クローダショー。
はい、
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. 皆さんこんばんは。今日は17回目の、ライブ配信ですね。
17回目ね。Number 17。
うん。やってますね。
Wow. 17 episodes so far.
そうです。結構やってます。
My goodness. And tonight we're back to number 2, the number 2 version, number 2 installation of Tokyo Song Celebration Online.
はい。今日はね、第2回目の東京ソングセレブレーションオンラインという企画でございまして、前回はね、サムさんゲストが、T さんですね、第1回。
そう。はい、初めのゲストは T さんでした。
そうです。T さん。ね、インド出身の、シンガーソングライター。シンガーさんか。ソングライターだね。シンガーソングライターだね。
She writes a lot of her material, yeah.
そうだね。で、ヒロシさんがゲストで一緒に出てくれて、T さんとヒロシさんと一緒にね、前回やりました。
Yeah. Yeah, we had T on last month, the singer from India, and her partner, her musical partner, Hiroshi Tokieda. And tonight, our special guest is Jonny Barefoot.
ジョニー・ベアフットさんです。イエーイ。
I don't know. He can't afford shoes. Maybe he just never wears shoes. I don't know. Jonny Barefoot.
で、actually ジョニーさんはあれだよね。during the show, he not wearing shoes.
Exactly. he actually takes off his shoes to play music.
Yeah, そうなの。ジョニーさん靴脱いで演奏するんですよね、ライブの時に。あ、T さん、ヒロシさん、Yes!
Hey, T, yes.
はい。
T says, I hope you do at least 1,000,000 more episodes. That's a lot, T.
それ大変だね、もう。
I think I'll die before we can do 1,000,000. Maybe Kuroda-san can carry on
どうでしょ
う after I'm dead, you know.
どうでしょう
That's a lot. Oh, Paul is here. Hi, folks. Woohoo, Paul from
Paul
London.
Morris. Good evening.
Yeah, man.
はい。
So yeah, you know, we got a focus tonight on Jonny Barefoot.
はい。カナダ出身の、シンガーソングライタージョニー・ベアフットさんが今回のゲストですよね。
そう。カナダ出身. That means born in Canada.
はい。
Yeah. And but Johnny's been here for a long time. He's been in Japan for, I don't know, maybe longer than me. I don't know. I've been here 25 years. I'm not sure how long Johnny's been here. Maybe not quite that long. But he's been here for a while, for sure.
結構長いことジョニーさんもね、日本に住んでらっしゃる方で、サムさんは25年ですか。
25年。
長いですね。
25長い。
ねえ。25年日本にいるっていうのは長い。
I don't even remember what the rest of the world looks like. Is Paris still there? Is the Grand Canyon still big? I don't know. Could be all gone as far as I know.
いや、グランドキャニオンはまだグランドキャニオンのまま
Yeah, it's still big,
はい、大丈夫
right? It's still big, right? Okay.
多分。
Cool.
多分。Oh, Lex says, Shalom.
Oh, Shalom.
ニュースタイルじゃない？
Yeah, new style. It's new style.
Peace じゃない？
Peace. Shalom.
ね。
And Paul says, so I heard a couple of radio shows this week about Japan. One on business, one on mythology.
ほう。
There you go. Everybody's talking about Japan.
なんで？
I don't know.
オリンピックあるからですか？
オリンピックはね。
ちょっとね。
These damn Olympics.
ちょっと
they keep talking about the Olympics.
クエスチョンだね。
Oh my God. Don't get me started on the Olympics. Don't even get me started.
今日のエピソードがトピック変わっちゃいますね。それをやっちゃうと。
そう。Now we're talking about the Olympics. Oh, Lordy mercy. Yeah. Yeah, so we got Johnny on tonight. We're gonna get to his interview pretty soon.
はい。
But one thing I wanted to mention, Daisuke and I were just talking a little earlier today about Clubhouse. This new Clubhouse
そう
thing.
ね。クラブハウスっていう新しいなんかプラットフォームがサービスがねちょっと話題になってるよねなんて話を先ほどしてたんだけど、
Right.
なんかライブ配信のライブストリームプラットフォーム is it?
そうみたいですよね。live chat, like
ライブチャッ
actual
ト
talking.
ああなるほど。
Actual talking. I think it's not video based. I think it's just audio, just for the ears.
なるほど。
That's my understanding. I haven't done it. I haven't really checked it out.
うん。
But it seems like it's just audio and it's like chat rooms where people are talking,
なるほど。
you know, talking about whatever. You make a subject and you have maybe some group leaders or something like Zoom.
おお。
Maybe you have like a moderator or group leader or a host.
うん。
And then, you know, other people are like listening, but then other people can join in. It's like, I don't know, you raise your hand or something, you know, you press a key on your computer and you say, I want to say something. And I guess if the host says, okay, then you can come in and say something. I think that's how it works.
なるほど。
Yeah, it seems like a hot new thing, man.
うん、なんか only invite の invitation
That's right.
way to join.
Invitation only.
That's kind of ね、smart idea to ね、なんか kind of
Oh, totally.
ね、
Get
grow things.
Get the buzz.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, ooh, did you get an invitation? Did you get an invitation? No, I need an invitation, man. Can you give me an invitation? It's like the same old thing about dance clubs back in like, I remember like in the 80s, man, you know, with
80年代の
dance clubs.
はいはいはい。
You know, it was really hard to get in.
うん。
They had the doorman who was like, no, you're not coming in. You
なんか
don't
映
look
画と
cool.
かでありますね、そういうシーンね。
でしょ? You don't look cool enough.
うん。
I don't know, man. Clubhouse.
ね、どうなんでしょう。まだ聞いてもないっていうか、誰かのやつをね、多分聞くことは誰でもできるでしょ。
誰でもでしょ。
ね、でもまだ自分は聞いてないから、どんな感じなのか全然わかんないけど、
Yeah.
なんかオーディオオンリーのアイディアってさ、あれなんだっけ、ポッドキャストもオーディオでしょ。
そう。It's like a podcast except that you can join.
ああ、なるほどね。
Yeah, you have to just listen.
うん。
That's an interesting idea, man. Because I mean, we all think of our computers as visual, you know, information.
そうだね。見た
We have
目
a
の
screen.
画面があって誰かが喋ってるとかってこういうライブ配信をみんななんていうか当たり前にやってきてるからね。
Yeah.
そこでオーディオオンリーってなんかどういう感じみたいな感じ、ね。
どういう感じかな? What is the screen just black or something?
ね、なんだろうね。どん
Did
な
they have a photograph or?
ね、なんだろう。どうなんでしょうね。
Maybe like a screensaver, like colors moving around or
Right.
something.
I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of screensavers, behind you, Daisuke, you've got a
はい。
computer. You've got a computer going, right?
はい、そうなんですよ。こちらで今ね、ずっと映してるのは、我々が浅草フーグレンでやってきてた東京ソングセレブレーションの様子をね、ちょっと今後ろのコンピューターで流してます。
Cool. So what he's saying is that for those of you who don't speak Japanese, is that he's got scenes going here from our old Tokyo Song Celebration that we used to do once a month at Fuglen in Asakusa. There we are on the little stage, and yeah, you've got a lot of little clips going here of what the vibe was like back in those days when we were doing those shows, right?
Right. 2019ですね。till 2020 の February とか March until.
That's right. The last one we did was February in 2020.
そうだね。
Yeah.
2
Who was that
月まで。
there? Is that Diego?
ディエゴです。
Diego
ディエゴさん。
Diego Davidenko.
はい、ディエゴさん。ディエゴさ
Yeah,
ん。
now Diego, we're gonna have Diego in April.
あ、4月の東京ソングセレブレーションオンラインでディエゴさんがゲストということで。
That's right.
あー楽しみ。
Yeah, Diego's great, man.
うん、ディエゴさんすごい、好きで、まあ、この東京ソングセレブレーションのイベントの時初めて私知り合いになったんですけども、すごくこうあったかい雰囲気のキャラクターでなんか優しい感じの曲調でね、素敵ですよね、ディエゴさん。いやー、ディエゴさん楽しみだなそれ。
Great guy and very very talented songwriter.
あれ、ディエゴさん、なんでディエゴさんが話ばっかりしてんだろうね。
Yeah, now we're talking about Diego. I mean, tonight. Let's get back to tonight.
そうです。今日のゲストは、ジョニー・ベアフットさんです。
Jonny Barefoot。
はい、ジョニーさんも浅草の、イベントで我々はジョニーさんのイベントに参加して、私そこで初めてジョニーさんと知り合いになったんですけども、浅草のインフィニティブックスっていうところでしたよね。
That's right. Yeah, we played Johnny's event that he was hosting.Also in Asakusa at Infinity Books, and I think that's where you met Jonny, right?
そうです。で、
Yeah.
多分 T さんもそこで初めてお会いしたかもしれない。なんか
Quite possible.
そこでなんかジョニーさんのイベントか、我々がライブベネットクローダでライブやった時だったか覚えてないけど、T さんとヒロシさんが見に来てくれたかなんかで、初めて知り合ったと思うんだよね。その時、確か。
Yeah, the scene at Infinity, the scene at Fuglen, you know, Asakusa was a little center for musical activity there for a little while.
Right.
Yeah.
For especially indie scene in Tokyo.
Yeah, that's right.
And a lot of foreigner musicians.
That's right. A lot of foreigner musicians. And, you know, Asakusa is, for those of you who don't know too much about Tokyo, Asakusa is one of the older areas of Tokyo. It's very old.
Yes.
Very famous temple there. And it's kind of feeling of, well, it's kind of feeling of old Tokyo. Real, what we call shitamachi. Means downtown. Means downtown, but it means the old downtown, you know.
はい。
So yeah, Asakusa is kind of an interesting area, and a lot of tourists come to Asakusa.
はい。なんか、mostly like our guests じゃなくて customers from you know the Fuglen gig. Customers are really random tourists. And
yeah, totally
most
random.
People like, you know, oh, I'm gonna leave tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. We were always meeting people there at our shows, and we come from Spain, or we are from France, or you know, we come from Czechoslovakia, or you know, we're from Korea. We met people from everywhere, and they almost always said, "We're going back tomorrow."
そう。なぜかなんか旅行者が多くて、みんな明日帰国するとかっていう人がね多かったよね。
Yeah, everybody was going home tomorrow.
でもたくさんねお客さんがこうなんだろうなんか知らないね友達とかも来てくれるし、全然知らないお客さんがたまたま入ってきてくれるので、すごいいいイベントだったんですよね。東京ソングセレブレーションっていうのはね。
Yeah.
あともう一個場所ありましたね。浅草の方でなんかビールのcraft beer place.
Yes,
and that was also
yes.
another
That was a
foreigners event, right?
Yeah, that was a nice event. That was, I forgot the name of that place.
なんか not only music kind of vibe title, I think.
Yeah. Well, there was the organization that did that was called More Than Music.
More Than Music, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called More Than Music,
Yes.
and they were some people who were putting shows together, and they were using a venue in Asakusa.
Yeah, that was also Asakusa, right?
Yeah. It was a little craft beer place.
そうなんですよ。クラフトビールのね、浅草のお店でね、そこでのイベントもね、出させてもらったんだよね。
Yeah, that's right. We played one of those.
So
anyway,
結構いっぱいありますね、そういう場所ね。
Yeah. So I think it's about time to move into the first segment of our interview with Jonny Barefoot. What do you say?
いいんじゃないでしょうか。
Yeah.
先日我々ジョニーさんとオンラインでねインタビューの収録をしまして、今日は2本動画をねサムさんが用意してくれてます。で最初のそしたらインタビューの 動画に移ろうかなと思うんですが、いきますか。
Yeah, let's roll it.
はい、じゃあジョニーさんスペシャルゲストですね、今日。はい。
All right, friends, we have with us, straight out of Canada, Mr. Jonny Barefoot, our special guest tonight on Tokyo Song Celebration Evening at the Bennett-Kuroda Show.
Really happy to be here, Sam and Daisuke. Thank you very much for asking me.
こんばん
Yeah,
は。
こんばんは。皆さんこんばんは。
お久しぶりです、ジョニーさん。It's been a while.
Yeah, no kidding. It has
Yeah.
been a while. Yeah.
That's
When
right.
was the last
we,
time?
Well, you know, we came over to Infinity, Johnny, when you were doing your series over there, your Friday Fusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
First Friday Fusion. That's right.
First Friday Fusion. Yeah, speaking of Infinity, Johnny, how long did you run that series before COVID shut it down?
Well, that one, I was doing that, I think it had to be a couple of years. About a year and a half to 2 years, I would think.
Yeah, well, it was a great series, man, and
Thanks.
you know, it strikes me that that's one of the nice things about Tokyo is that you know, musicians like us can sometimes just put our own little series together. You know, there's so
Yeah.
many venues, you know. And,
Yeah, so many venues and really lovely people that run them that
Yeah.
allow us to do, it's like, well, I'll give you this night, do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's certainly not like that in a lot of other big cities around the world. It's much more cutthroat and much
Really?
more just tight in terms of just you know, venues and availability of time and space, you know. Well, speaking of the scene in Tokyo,
Mhm.
or in general, just you know, being a foreign resident musician here in Japan,
Yeah.
what are your impressions of well, I guess I want to say, in what ways do you think this living in Japan for as long as you have has sort of influenced in any way your music and what you do musically and so forth?
Well, it's a very different place from compared to Canada, anywhere in Canada, but Toronto specifically. It is a very different place, and for the longest time, actually, we lived out in the countryside for almost 10 years before I played a little bit there. I still played music, but mostly just for friends at parties and stuff, and I didn't do much live. But then when we moved up to Tokyo, I found that there was a really, really cool indie scene that you could break into, and you didn't have to go out and break the bank just to get a show.
Right.
You didn't have to shell out a whole bunch of money just to get a show. You
Yeah.
could, get a show going and get your friends out and meet other musicians and other people. You wouldn't really make much money, but geez, if that was what it was about, I would have given up long ago.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but in Tokyo, you do end up meeting a lot of really diverse people from different parts of the world, in this indie music scene that we're in.
That's right.
And you hear lots of different sounds and things that you wouldn't otherwise hear. You wouldn't come up with it yourself. So I think I have been influenced, at least in feel and just like my own sort of feeling and emotion about it, if not musically, like hearing sounds and think that I want to emulate it. Mind you, I've never really done that thing as a musician, but just the vast array of people that you meet and different attitudes and different sounds and different things that I wouldn't have come up with, or come across otherwise.
I have a question, Johnny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you just released this album. Yeah. How long you been working on these songs to writing?
All the songs on this album had been written since I did my previous album, A Different River. At the end of like all those songs, they all kind of got written around the same time, and they're all in one specific tuning, and I sort of had this rush of creativity, and I wrote a ton of songs. I wrote a whole bunch of songs, and then I started recording them, and I kept writing as I was doing the recording as well. So there's one or two songs on there that I wrote as I was making the record. And then near the tail end, like after I started recording and I chose the songs that I wanted to do, there were a few songs that ended up on Sunrise in Reverse. Brother Spirit Water is one of them. One More Line is another one. The very first song off the album, One More Line. Those songs were written back then, so about 7 years ago, around the time that I just finished. So they're kind of still of that family of music. And then and I was playing those, and they kind of percolated around my head and sort of evolved a little bit, and I got the ideas for different instrumentation and things and arrangement and whatnot. And then as I started recording this one, I sat down. I had a spare afternoon over a year ago. It was before COVID, but not too long before all this started happening. I sat down and just did some basic demo tracks of a few songs that I wanted to record. And then when we had the first state of emergency and I wasn't going to work, we had a lot of spare time at home. And I was poking around on the computer and I went, oh, I still have these songs. Look at that. And I listened to them and I thought, wow, these are pretty good. I think I can do something with this. And then I had a whole bunch of free time. So I sat down and I started recording them. But I had recorded a few since then as well. And 2 songs on the album I wrote very, very close to the recording, if not as I was recording. And one song, actually, I Will Give You Rainbows, was that one is an improv that I was getting ready to do some recording. I was getting ready to do some recording one day. I was setting things up. I was warming up on the guitar, and I just started jamming a little bit with this idea, and the idea started to flesh out more and more. And then I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. Record. And I played it, and what I played right there is what's on the record. So,
wow.
Immediate.
So that was an immediate thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is a neat idea. Record. And then I thought, well, whatever happens. If I like it, it'll go on the record. If I don't, then it won't.
Which is, you recorded your acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when we played at the Infinity Books. You show me one acoustic guitar. It's the brand, I forgot the brand name, but like one custom made acoustic guitar. And usually the guy is making one of these jazz guitar kind of type, I think. I remember.
Probably that one right there. It's a
maybe.
String.
Yeah.
And then also I have a 7-string back there. And I use both the 6-string and the 7-string. There's the 7-string over there.
Oh.
And they're made by Alan Beardsell. And he's a guy I lived with. We lived in the same house. A bunch of musicians lived in this house in downtown Toronto. And then we moved to Japan. And right around that time, he started making guitars.
Yeah, both Daisuke and I. He's got him on the shirt.
Oh, cool.
Both Daisuke and I were impressed by the shimmering harmonics and all that stuff in
wow.
I will give you rainbows. That was very lovely.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nice harmony, and I love the voicings you played.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I remember playing that, and I really, really felt good about it afterwards. And then I listened back to it, and I thought, this is going on the record. And I still like listening to it now. I don't know. Some people, some musicians and some actors that you listen to, is like, oh, I don't like listening to myself. I don't like watching myself. I'm not like that. When I'm making music, I'm thinking, this is good music. I like it.
I want to listen to it again.
Yeah. That's how I know that I'm doing something good. It's like if I would sit around and listen to this, like cooking dinner or just hanging out with friends or something, if I would have it on in the background, then I think it's good. If it's music that I would listen to, then yeah. Cardinal on the Fence is the first song that I wrote on. Where's the banjo? that banjo back there.
Oh, bring it up, bring it. Let's see that banjo.
バンジョー入ってるやつか。わかりました。はいはいはい。little busy country type song のやつ。
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, number 2 on the record, Cardinal on the Fence.
Okay, so yeah, this banjo I bought from a friend of mine in Toronto, because when I started playing with Jimmy Binks and the Shakehorns, I started playing banjo with them. I didn't play banjo before, and they gave me a banjo and said, "Here you go." And I thought, well, I better get my own banjo. And then I started looking into banjos and reading up about people who played banjos. Pete Seeger was one guy who I read up a lot about and listened and learned a lot from. And he played a long neck banjo.
Right.
And the long neck banjo is this one.
Nice.
It really is long.
It has an extra 3 frets.
Yeah. Okay.
And I like the versatility of it because you can, a regular banjo is in G here, typically, sort of a standard tuning for banjos, an open G. But this one, you can go right down to an E, and you can use it as a solo instrument. A banjo, a regular banjo by itself, you can still use it as a solo instrument, but the sound is higher and not as full. So if you're going to lead songs with a banjo, having the long neck that's deeper and fuller, it's better for that. And I think Pete Seeger was the one who came up with the long neck banjo in the first place. He had a regular banjo, and he thought that. And he's like, I need something that's deeper and fuller and something that has a bit more versatility. And he took his regular banjo to a luthier friend of his, to a guitar maker friend, and said, can you put 3 more frets on this? So they modified the neck. They cut it and you know, spliced it together. And
that's big surgery then.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really big.
No,
it's like replacing an arm or something.
Yeah, making it longer.
That's
put an
crazy.
extra. Yeah, so that's what happened. I think that's where long neck banjos originated. I'm pretty sure.
That's so interesting. I knew he played a long neck banjo, but I didn't know he essentially kind of invented the long neck banjo.
I think he did. They're still not that common either.
Right, I've never seen it before. When you brought it to Infinity Books, that was my first time to see.
Oh yeah. Not a lot of. It's funny actually. A lot of people when I'm playing, would just ask, you know, what is that instrument? Not why is that banjo so long?
What is that?
But what is that? I know, and I don't want to seem like a smartass or anything, but and because like, well, what are you talking about? But. They don't know, so that's fine. Oh, it's a banjo. You know, you might have heard a banjo, but you might not have seen one. So there you go. So that's kind of cool too.
I guess especially in once you leave North America, you know, fewer people in general are familiar with the banjo.
Yeah, exactly. And it does conjure up a very, very specific sound, doesn't it?
Sure. Beverly Hillbillies kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Deliverance.
Right, Deliverance. Right,
yeah.
Those
That
are
sort
the
of thing.
two big ones.
Yeah,
Beverly Hillbillies and Deliverance.
Exactly. So I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe picking up the torch where others might have left it off or that, but I sort of take it upon myself to kind of broaden people's horizons when they're thinking about the banjo. And it's like, what's that music you're playing? You're playing it on a banjo? That's not that's not Flat and Scruggs, you know. Well, you know, it's an instrument, and you can, you know, I could play heavy metal on it if I wanted to.
Sure.
But I don't, but I could.
Why not? Get some pedals, man.
Yeah. But Cardinal on the Fence, though, was the first song I wrote on this banjo. When I went back to Canada to pick it up, I was at my wife's family's house to the west of Toronto, and they have quite a big backyard. And I was sitting in the back room that has a sliding door, like floor to ceiling glass door that looks out into the backyard. And I was just strumming around and picking around and playing around on it, just getting to know the thing. And a cardinal flew down and sat on the fence.
Nice.
And the next thing that I played was the first line from Cardinal on the Fence. So I went,
Brilliant.
let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
So that song is what grew out of that, and sort of the Cardinal made me play that.
I noticed you have a tune. Let's see. This is the place. That's track 7.
Right.
And I had a couple of impressions of that. One was that one thing that interested me was that it sounded like you've got something that's sounds like a mellotron, and then later it sounds like it's kind of string synth part or something.
Well, I wrote that song, and I came up with the music for it, and I was playing around with it a little bit, and that one I wrote it probably just before I started recording the album, or maybe I'd already started recording it. I can't remember, but it's a pretty new number. And then as I was playing with it, and it was sort of evolving in my mind, I started hearing mellotrons and strings and things like that. So I called up our friend Morgan Fisher.
Oh, beautiful. So Morgan played those. Okay, that makes sense. That
and
makes
asked
sense.
him if he would be interested in listening to this song, and if he likes it, would he like to play something on it? And I'm hearing mellotrons, I'm hearing flutes, I'm hearing string, and I sort of gave him that guidance, and that was it. That was it. So I sent it to him, and he went, "Oh, yeah, okay, cool." And then he got back with what he played and what's on the record. He gave me a couple of different versions, and then said, "Here you go."
Oh, okay. Well, that makes total sense. I had forgotten actually that Morgan is on the record. So
and some other musicians, right?
Yes.
Trumpet, kana?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Trumpet on The Man from Tomorrow is my old bandmate from Jimmy Binks and the Shakehorns. That's Aaron Sharp.
Yeah, Aaron is a fine trumpet player, and I heard her, I think, first either with Jimmy Binks or with her band, the Dead Sea Dropouts.
Yeah, her klezmer outfit. Yeah,
klezmer outfit. Yeah,
those guys are awesome.
Oh, it's a great band. Yeah, it's a great band. So I also noticed about the tune "This Is the Place" is that you kind of exploring a bit of a lower vocal range. It's maybe sort of in a baritone kind of vocal range. And that reminded me a little bit of Leo Kottke, and I was going to ask you if you ever listened to Leo at all.
Yes, I love Leo Kottke.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I do love Leo Kottke. Yeah. He's a very original man, original songwriter, original musician. There's nobody else like him.
It's true. And he sings in that really low register, you know.
Yeah,
they said that Louise was not half bad.
I have played a couple of Leo Kottke songs in my day, but yeah, definitely. Well, as I get older, I find I am discovering a lower register, and I'm sort of losing a bit of my higher register in my singing voice. So with that one, and the mood when I was writing it, I remember the mood that evening at the house, everything was very quiet, and everything that you hear, the first verse is something that transpired, something that actually happened. I was trying to think of I was thinking of writing a song, and I get these feelings. I get a feeling that there's a song inside me that's going to come out, but I don't know when. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't know when it's going to happen. And then, so when I get that feeling, I just try and remain open for whatever might come to me. And the first verse, the lyrics of the first verse literally happened. And then I wrote it down, and I went, "Ooh, this is a song! Wow!"
Oh, nice.
So there's a fish that one of my kids had made, or we had made it at school with their kids. that was hanging on the bottom of a rack where we have some paintings,
and it fell off the painting.
And it fell.
Yeah.
As I was thinking,
I remember that line.
The fish fell from the painting, and it lay there motionless on the floor, and it did. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
And then I got up and I opened the door to another room, and I picked up a book that I was thinking about, and I opened it up at a random page and looked at and read the line. So the first verse was about 10 seconds or 15 seconds of something that happened, and then I wrote it down. Thing is, just before that too, do you know Brian Eno's project, what is it, Oblique Strategies?
Yes, where you take bits of lyric and throw them together, and
right, or just something totally random. There's like a deck of cards that you can get, or like a random generator app or something like that, and it's just something to sort of jar your head into thinking something different, to spark some sort of creativity.
I think it's interesting that something that real world that just happened could immediately result in a lyric which is so like surreal. The fish fell off the painting. It immediately sounds like something that came to you in a dream or something, but it actually was just a little model of a fish or something that fell down.
And it fell down.
That's kind of perfect.
And that's where it was. But well, that's it too. Like if you just take something out of context as well, something very ordinary, and take it out of context and put it in a different context, it will sound kind of psychedelic and
there you go,
and random,
like a dream.
Like a dream, yeah.
Exactly. All right.
はい。ジョニーさん、こんばんは。
Johnny-san. So yeah, that was part 1 of our interview with Johnny that we did just the other day.
はい、パート1のインタビューですね。ジョニーさんのやつご覧いただきました。ちょっとだけ日本語で解説をね、20分ぐらいあったので、すごく長いので、かいつまんで、ジョニーさんはカナダ出身のシンガーソングライターで、サムさんがね、東京に来て、どんな感じの音楽的にとか文化とかいろんな人に会ってどういう影響を受けて今回のアルバムサンライズ・イン・リバースですよねを作ったんですかとか、音楽的な影響を何か東京に来てから受けましたかみたいな質問をしていて、でジョニーさんは東京はやっぱりこう、カナダのトロントに住んでたんだけども、東京は全然やっぱり環境が違うし、でたくさんいろんな人がいて、東京のインディーシーンっていうかね、インディーズのローカルのミュージシャンがいっぱいいて、こうあちこちにね、いろんなライブハウスとかなんだろう、誰でもっていうかね、こう簡単にその日一晩こう自分のイベントとかやらせてもらえるような場所がいっぱいあって、そんでたくさんいろんな国のインディーズのミュージシャンと出会って、それが結構いろんなアイディアで、なんだろうな、そういういろんな人たちのいろんなサウンドをこう東京に住んできたことで見てきて、それをこう影響を受けて、今回のアルバムにもなんかそういう作品にね、そういうのが出てきてるよみたいな話をしておりました。あとはバンジョーをね見せてくれてたんですけれども、バンジョーはねちょっと長いスケールのバンジョーで、普通はオープン G になってる、チューニングのものなんだけども、そこから3フレットさらにこう長く、作ってもらってて、で、オープン E になってるようなバンジョーを使ってましたよっていうようなインタビューでございました。はい。
Yeah, that long neck banjo, man, that's really something. And as he was explaining, that's kind of an invention of Mr. Pete Seeger. Yeah, the legendary Pete Seeger, who was very important in bringing a lot of folk music to American audiences and introducing a lot of American folk music to the world, you know. Yeah. Good old Pete. Rest in peace. So yeah, Johnny is looks like Johnny might have tuned in now while we were going with that interview. And interestingly, in the comments we got Lex, our dear friend Lex, was wondering about Johnny's name. Johnny Barefoot. How did that start?
うん
And
ベアフットさん、うん、ベアフットって名
Barefoot
前
song.
の
Barefoot
ルー
song.
ツ、名前のルーツみたいなと
Yeah,
ころですよ
yeah,
ね
the。roots of Johnny Barefoot's name, and he answered. He went ahead and answered in the comments, but I'll just read it now. He says, "My tradition." Johnny says, "My tradition of going barefoot. You ask? I'm most comfortable in bare feet. That's how I am at home, mostly, and especially when I'm making music. So it came through to be my natural state on stage too. So he just started taking off his shoes on stage.
な
You
ん
know."
かベアフットっていうのは全然私勘違いしててベアのクマのベアだと思ってたの
クマのベアじゃない
んかでクマの足のベアフットかと思ったの
熊の足。
そうで
You know,
も
maybe Johnny does have feet like a bear. I don't know. It's
で
possible.
も裸の足っていうね意味みたいでこのジョニーさんのコメントでも家で過ごす時も裸足でいるのがねすごく居心地いいしでステージでも裸足で演奏するんだよっていうような、あと音楽やる時も裸足でやりますよっていうコメントの返信がありましたね。
Yeah, yeah. And also, Johnny mentions that his actual last name is long and hard to pronounce.
なるほど。実際の名字はもっ
発音は
と長いし、なんか発音も難しいらしい。ベアフットじゃないんだね。じゃあ。なるほど。
You know that old song, Daisuke, Barefootin'? That's a great song.
いや、わかんないです。
It's an old dance song. It's like the dance was called Barefootin'. Went to a party the other night. Bum, bum, bum. Long, tall Sally was out of sight. Bum, bum, bum. Took off her shoes and threw them away. Bum, bum, bum. Come back and get them another day. She was barefootin'. Ba-da, bum, bum. She was barefootin'. Ba-da, bum, bum. Yeah.
知らない。
That was a hit when I was a kid. Yeah,
あ、
barefootin'.
そうなんだ。
Yeah, it was a kind of a dance. Barefootin'.
へ
So I think Johnny's going to have to cover that song.
ー。ジョニーさんカバーしてください。もう、
Yeah, yeah.
わかんない。He already did it before, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
どうだろ
We'll
う
have
ね。
to we'll have to ask him.
ね
Johnny, have you covered barefootin'?
Have you? うん。
Have you? Say yes or no.
そして、Keith1997 さん、この My friend ですね、Keith。
Oh, hey Keith.
うん、Good
Thanks for
evening、
tuning
こんばん
in.
は。
こんばんは。
ブラッドツアーの時にですね、知り合いになりまして、
あ、なるほど。
そうなんです。東京の多分だけど、多分この人キースさんだと思うんですけど、多分、
Keith さんね。
東京のすごい西の方のね、方ですよね。
あ、
はい。まあ、はい、大丈夫です。
Johnny says no one has said that he has feet like a bear.
あ、そうですか。なるほど。
But like a hobbit, yes, but not a bear.
なるほ
A
ど。
hobbit.
あ、ホビットの足
Hobbit.
は。
Hobbit.
なるほど。ムース、なんかムースの話もしてましたよね。
Yeah, we were talking about moose.
なんかインタビューの時にね、なんか、
Yeah, yeah.
うん、わかんない。ムースはエピソード2のね、インタビューパート2の方かもしれないけど、
We'll be talking about moose. Mooses.
うん、ムースの話。
Or meese, as they're known in the plural.
あ、
There
そ
were
う
a
な
lot
の
of meese.
ミスっていいの？
No, that's bad English. Don't
That's-
say that.
あ、
That's
オッケーオッ
bad.
ケー。
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was a pleasure to talk to Johnny that day on the interview,
うん。
and you know, it was great that he could show us some of his instruments and talk about his new record. And his new record is called Sunrise in Reverse,
はい。
which I guess might mean a sunset. I don't know. Sunrise.
なんか
sunset.
ジャケットはね、なんかそんな感じのちょっと夕焼けっぽい雰囲気のなんか
Yeah.
ジャケットで、サンライズのなんていうの、なんかこうワードフリップスのデザインですね。
Something's flipped. It's all
なんか
flipped. The text is
そうそう。
backwards.
そ
Everything's in Johnny's world. Everything is like turning backwards, and he's keeping his shoes off no matter what.
今 BGM でこう後ろでうっすら流れてるのがこの、 ジョニーさんのサンライズ・イン・リバースっていうこのね今回
Yeah.
リリースになったアルバムなんですけども、バンドキャンプの方に行っていただいてですね、まあこのライブ配信のディスクリプションのね、概要欄のところに一応リンクがあるんですけども、バンドキャンプからジョニー・ベアフットさんの今回の、アルバムがですね、
Yeah.
ダウンロー
Yeah,
ド
down
で
there.
きますんで、
Down there in the description, there's a link to Johnny's Bandcamp page where you can download his record. You can buy and you can listen to it. You can stream it, and at least a few times for free. And then if you like, you can buy it.
そうですね。
Yeah, it's the link is down there in the description.
はい。そして我々の CD がこちらにありますけれども、これもバンドキャンプにありますよね。
So that's right. That's right. Our CD is also on Bandcamp as a physical CD or as a download, whichever you like. You can order it. Bandcamp. We're big Bandcamp fans around here. We love Bandcamp because they give you a decent percentage, a good percentage, and it's just a good company all around.
なんかバンドキャンプってすごくミュージシャンにこうインディーズのミュージシャン特にね、なんかありがたいサービスでございまして、でまあ Apple Music とか Spotify とかどこでもね聴けるんですけれども、特にバンドキャンプで聴いていただくというか、お買い求めいただくと我々の、パーセンテージが大きくなるよっていうだけの話なんだけど。
Yeah.
なんかあ
Hey,
りましたね。なんか何ですかどうぞ。
Oh yeah, Daisuke, I wanted you to read this comment in Japanese from Lula Bennett.
はい。大輔さん、サムさんに変な英語を教わらないでくださいねということで、in other words, don't tell Daisuke weird English.
Yeah. That's my daughter, and she's warning me about teaching Daisuke bad English.
そう冗談がねよくわかんないのよ。やっぱりこうなんつうの日本語で冗談言ってんだなってのはわかるけど、英語で冗談で言っててもね、わかんないんだよね。
You wouldn't know.
そう
You wouldn't know that I was lying to you,
そう
that I was using bad English.
そうだから普通にリアクションしちゃうんだよ。
Yeah.
たまにねすごいオブビアスなジョークだったらわかるけどね。
Yeah, sometimes it's obvious.
うん。
Sometimes it's not.
そうなんだよね。
Yeah. Well,
De-
thank you. My daughter's looking out for you, Daisuke. She's
よろしくお願いします。
Yeah.
冗談ですよこの人っていうのちゃんとコメント入れてくんないと本気でリアクションしてますからね。ね。ジョニーさんが、I had a good time、chatting with you guys. そうですね。ね、it was really good. It was really fun. Zoom chatting.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny's the kind of guy who knows how to talk about his music. You know, he knows what he wants to say about it, and that's always great. You know, if a musician can explain his stuff, you know, and talk about it. And you know, a lot of great musicians can't really do that. You know, some musicians can, and others are just kind of like, you just gotta listen, you know. That's all. You just gotta like Miles, you know. I just play it, man. And, you know, you gotta dig it. That kind of thing. All musicians are different, you know.
まあね、ミュージシャンによってはね、ちゃんと自分の作った楽曲の説明とかが上手にできる人となかなかこうそういうの難しいなっていういろんなタイプがいると思うんですけども、ジョニーさんは本当にね一曲一曲に対してすごく全部英語でちょっと日本語だとね日本の方は分かりづらかったと思うんですけども、英語ではね一曲一曲すごく解説をしてくれまして、歌詞のこととかさ、その曲がどういうエピソードでできたよとかさ、なんか you guys talking about like you know hanging a wall no something object.
Yeah.
Felt,
yeah, that's one of the things he was talking about. He was talking about I think that might be in the second half. I'm not sure. Or was that in the first half? I'm not sure. But yeah, you know, he was just mentioning something about the way a lyric happened, and the reason he wrote it was just based on a thing that happened, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I always find it interesting to hear those kind of comments, you know, from songwriters. about, you know, what that moment was that inspired them to write that line. And then once you've got a line, you kind of go from there, you know. So that kind of stuff is always interesting to me. And Johnny was good about, you know, talking about that kind of stuff, explaining it and remembering it. I mean, a lot of times I don't exactly remember the things that inspired me to do a song. It depends on how many years ago I wrote it, you know.
Yeah, and
Like,
you've got too many already.
Just too many songs, right? I was like, what? I wrote that one in, what was that? You know? It's true, man. It's true. Just too many damn
Too
songs.
many songs だね。
I gotta throw some of them away.
うん
Chiba Stud says, you need to
Good
teach
evening.
him. Yeah. Chiba Stud says, I need to teach you, Daisuke, a lot of bad English. And
そうかもね。Yeah.
yeah, working hard and hardly working, Daisuke.
Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah,
a good
well.
one. That's a good one. That's a good phrase. People say, are you working hard? And you say, hardly working.
Hardly working.
Yeah, hardly means like almost not working at all.
ああ、じゃあ
So you
逆なんだ。
You working hard? Yeah, gyaku, ne? You working hard? You say, hardly working.
なるほ
That's a
ど。
famous one, yeah.
なるほど。Thank you, 千葉スター。
Chiba
あ
Stud.
りがとうございます。
So yeah, man.
なんかさ、まあインタビューでこうさっきはちょっとなんだっけ、バンジョーのちょっと変わったバンジョーの話もしてましたけど、なんか琴とかもなんかね、やるって言ってたね。なんか趣味でジョニーさんはやるって言ってたけど、琴持ってて琴をやるんだって言ってましたね。なんかこのアルバムの中にも琴を使ってレコーディングしたものが入ってるらしいですよ。で、
That's right.
ミュージシャンもいろいろなんかね、友達の我々の共通の友達というか知り合いのミュージシャンもこのアルバムには参加してますよね。
Yeah, yeah. He's got various musicians on the record. Our friend Morgan Fisher appears on one of the tracks.
はい、モーガン・フィッシャーさんですね。
Keyboards.
キーボードのなんかメルトロンみたいな話してたかな。
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like a mellotron
うん。
and a synth, you know. And Morgan, by the way, will be here next month
はい、
on this show.
東京ソングセレブレーションの、今日は2回目オンラインのね、2回目なんですけども、来月第3回目はモーガン・フィッシャーさんがゲストで来てくれるということでございます。
That's right. Next month, Morgan Fisher will be our guest in the second Tuesday in March.
はい。
Yeah. So we'll have Morgan here. And otherwise, Johnny had a trumpet by a trumpet player here named Aaron Sharp.
あ、そうです。はい、
Yeah, yeah.
なんか
And I think in the next interview we discuss all that kind of stuff. So
そっか、NEXT インタビューの
Yeah, yeah.
パート2がこのゲストミュージシャンの話をしてるのかな。
yeah. Shall we run it?
そうですね。そしたらジョニーさんのインタビューのパート2の方をご覧いただきたいと思います。
Continuing with talking about some of the songs.
Yeah.
Track 4 on the record
Yep.
is Brother Spirit Water.
Right.
And that, Daisuke, is the one with the
なんか
bamboo.
something in
Yeah.
パーカッション going
Yeah,
on.
what
Yeah,
was
that's-
that, Johnny?
It's a wind chime, a bamboo wind chime. That one right over there.
Ah, there you
Hold
go.
on.
I see them. I see them. He's going to get them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's pretty interesting sound, and
Yeah.
the end of the part on that song is only that instrument is
Yeah, that's
keep
that's
running.
cool.
So I
Yeah.
was wondering
Yeah.
what is that instrument? You know, cool.
Oh no, it's just a bamboo wind chime, and I got the idea for that to sort of conjure up the kind of feeling that's in the first verse, at least anyway, which is imagining being on a canoe on a lake in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of northern Ontario, actually, because there is an actual specific lake that I was thinking about when I was writing that song. But being out on that lake in the morning when there's just the water is just as smooth as glass.
Ah,
Any ripples that happen is because your canoe is going through the like across the lake, and it's just really quiet, and you can hear like the water kind of gently slapping up against the bottom of the canoe as you go, and the odd fish will jump and make a little splash, or you hear a loon or something. It's just really quiet and really serene, and that was the feeling that I was kind of going for there. Yeah.
well, those lyrics really do bring that across. And I noticed not only in this song, but a lot of your songs have, lyrically speaking, have, a fair amount of, references and allusions to the natural world, wind, water, light, rivers, forests. There's so much of that in your songs, and it really,
thanks for
really,
noticing.
it really comes through in this Brother Spirit Water. But then also in that song, you kind of also take it back to the city. Somehow,
there's actually sort of a progression there. So you're out on the water, you're on a lake, and there's that feeling of ripples and a connection, sort of a oneness about that whole feeling that sort of ripples out and connects things that are here and also far away. And then the second verse is about being on a road, being on a highway, so a blacktop river, and the serenity and that can be found there as well, like driving long distance. I love long distance driving. So being on a road, driving along for a long distance through the countryside, and just the things that you see and the things that you sort of connect with as you're going along, like if your tires are humming along and you hear a cicada, that's these two sounds that sort of blend, and the things that you see as you pass by, and just the whole feeling of that is and the motion going along as well, and the ripples that you see in the heat of the day in the summer, like the sun and the air rising off of the black asphalt,
Exactly.
all that. So there's ripples and connections there too. And then when you get into the city, there's a lot of commotion and a lot of man-made stuff, but the ripples and connections are personal, and our own feelings and our own energy, where we are, and the contacts and connections that we make with other people. Like we ripple out and make connections with other people. So it's all kind of a fluid kind of water sort of connection with those three different sort of situations.
It's really perfect, man. And
Thank you.
It's like, your explanation of it now just makes it even clearer, but it's like it doesn't really need that explanation, because if you do listen carefully, or read the lyrics like I was doing, it's the connections are pretty clear, and that it is some kind of journey from the natural world to the world of the city. And it's pretty curious too, because it doesn't feel like you're saying one is any better than the other. They're just kind of like all states of being somehow. It's not judgmental or anything.
You're not saying that being out on a canoe on a lake is any better than being on a train in the middle of a city.
Exactly.
It's just two different situations that you're going to find yourself in, and it's up to you, it's up to me to find a connection within the ripples that I may be attuned to, or I may not, So actually there's kind of a global connection in that one as well, that may not be apparent, but the city verse, the third verse there, is really kind of more about Tokyo than Toronto. Although there is that sort of thing in Toronto, but it's the density and the frenetic sort of feeling that I get from Tokyo. I don't get it. I don't get in Toronto. Toronto is a much wider open city.
Right, sure.
But so the lake and the road are really kind of a Northern Ontario thing, but then there's a connection to Tokyo, which there is for me anyway, because I grew up in Ontario and we spent quite a lot of time in Northern Ontario, but now we're living in Japan.
Yeah,
just north of Tokyo. So
where you don't see any pausing mooses.
No
moose in Tokyo.
Not on purpose, anyway.
A lot of cicadas, though. Summertime.
Yeah, that's true.
We get a lot of cicadas. Oh, I like that, drinking from an old fruit jar, man.
There you go.
Just like Hank Williams over here.
Yeah, I think I made this too. No, I didn't.
I made it by
turn it on the tap, and that's it.
Nice. Well, listen, speaking of Brother Spirit Water, the tune we've been talking about just now, apparently you have made a video for it.
Yes, I have made a video, and just getting an idea of how to make a video that more faithfully represents what's on the record, rather than just me sitting there playing guitar, which I could do as well. But I wanted to do something that was a little bit more like the record and sort of looked a little interesting as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what that is.
Let's roll it.
Right on.
Glide across water, liquid glass of the morning, paddle cut diamonds, sun glints off ripples, jumping fish, colors, silence, laughter of the loon. Reach me, brother, in this far-off place. Teach me, spirit, through time and space, until I cross the water to be with you. Midday heat ripples, blacktop river cuts new paths, different solitude. Sundogs on windshield, tires hum with cicadas, speed past pausing moose, brother in this far off place. Teach me, Spirit, through time and space until I cross the road to be with you. Rhythm of city flows through streets like human waves, ebb and back again. Trains drift near contact in ripples we to touch in prayer, I hope. Reach me, brother, in this far off place. Teach me, Spirit, through time and space until I rise out of the earth to be with you.
What else have we got to talk about?
Well, I don't know.
You play so many instruments, and not only guitar and banjo, like string instrument. Like you played koto.
Yes. That one over there.
There it is. There's the koto.
It's kind of a hobby.
Oh, really? I've never played koto, and I don't even know how to play that.
It's actually, I mean, I don't want to say it's easy to play. It is kind of easy to play. It's because you those white pieces there are movable bridges that are just one for one string, right? And so you tune it that way. You move it up and down, and you can get different tunings. And then because each string is tuned to a specific note, and you don't change that note unless you bend it. You can bend them, but it's impossible to play a wrong note.
There you go. Yeah.
Unless but you have to learn a song, and that's the tricky part. But actually playing it, actually making a sound on the koto is not difficult at all. But it's a hobby of mine to sort of investigate, search out, discover new instruments, new and different instruments, and learn how to play them. And the koto is one of them. Mountain dulcimer is another, an Appalachian dulcimer. I have one of those. It's back there. And that was one that I don't have it on this record, but perhaps on the next record I'll put some mountain dulcimer in there. I have a balalaika given to me from a friend who left Japan. Yeah, one.
こんなやつだっけ
No.
Oh no, that's a kora.
That's a kora.
Kora. Yeah,
African thing.
Yeah.
Balalaika is a Russian instrument.
Russian, yeah, it's triangular.
Yeah.
It's my bala. It's at another place right now.
Sankaku.
へえ。
Sankaku.
なんか
And there's
so
three
many different-
strings.
Yeah,
Three strings like a shamisen, but
I like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's right up your alley.
3 strings is good.
That one I have a bowed psaltery, which is a really interesting thing. It's that's a triangle as well, but it has maybe like 32 strings or something like that, and it's kind of like it's like a violin, but each string is like a piano. It's tuned to one note. And you've got the white keys down the right side and the black keys down the left side, and you play it with a bow.
へ
That sounds interesting.
It's neat. It's neat. So yeah, it's
Psaltery.
kind of a hobby. Bowed
Yeah.
psaltery, yeah, with a P.
Yeah.
Psaltery.
Psaltery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where's that from? Where's that instrument from?
I think it's from Europe. It's sort of a precursor to the guitar, or even the piano, actually, because it's got like piano type strings on it, where a bowed psaltery is bowed and a piano is struck. The strings are struck.
Does it have those tuning pegs like a piano? So you have to tune it with a tuning hammer? Oh, okay.
Well, let me get it. Hold on.
Yeah, let's see it. Psaltery, the bowed psaltery. Ah, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. It looks totally cool.
Yeah, so there it is there.
Yeah.
And you've got the white, and it even looks like piano keys, right? You've got the white keys here.
Yeah.
And you've got the black keys here.
Yeah.
And you just bow it on the side.
Ah, okay.
Right, like that. I don't know where the bow is right now, but yeah, and you tune it here.
Okay, yeah.
With like a wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
That is cool. I think it's like sort of an old European instrument. And it's it's not a real loud instrument is the thing either, but I guess if you get a real nice one, it is.
Yeah.
It sound better, but yeah, there's a couple of videos that I saw of people playing them sort of in classical sort of music situations with choirs and different other stringed instruments and stuff.
Yeah. So on your record, you've got banjo, guitar of different varieties.
Yep.
Koto, mandolin as well.
Mandolin, yeah.
ああ、
yeah.
そうだ、マンドリンも入ってた。そうだ、
Yeah.
そうだ。
Bit of harmonica.
Harmonica, right?
Yeah. And that's all, and then the wind chimes. So there's some more wind chimes. I use some metal wind chimes and the bamboo ones. That's all the stuff that I play. And then I had some guests on there. Morgan Fisher, Aaron
You had
Sharp.
bass. You
Yep.
had a bass.
Yep. Ayumi Sato.
Oh yeah, Ayumi-san. Yeah. Great.
Yep. I played
And then
with
you
him
had a
few
drummer
times.
too, right?
Yeah, a friend of mine from back in Canada, Kevin White. He back from my high school days, actually. When I first met him, we played in a couple of bands back then. So when I contacted him about doing some drums on there and helping me out with some mastering and stuff, he said, "This is great because my doctor says I really need this sort of thing for therapy and whatnot." So I thought, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the release.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
One more person I should mention.
Oh yeah.
There's his friend, Kevin's friend, played clarinet on the first track.
うん、クラリネットも入ってました
What's his
ね。
name? Alan J.
Oh,
Walsh. Alan
on
J. Walsh.
one more line.
Yes.
I gotta admit that title kind of tickled me a little bit. I was thinking like, just one more line, man. Reminded me
I
of
never thought of that.
reminded me of the 1980s, man. Straight away, man. Just one more line, man.
Just one more. Come on, guys. Let's do one more. I never thought of that.
Oh,
This
my
is
God.
I'm serious. This is the first time that crossed my mind.
Well, it was the first thing that crossed my mind when I saw the title. One more line.
Because that's totally just one more line of lyrics, one more line of words. Yeah. So that's why I never thought of that. That's funny.
Now you'll never get it out of your head
That's
whenever you
like
sing the song.
where can I find these songs, Johnny?
Oh, this is important. Yes.
This album is available on Bandcamp. Bandcamp. It's available for download in several various styles or types of digital file, FLAC, MP3, Wave, lossless, a bunch of different file types.
Yeah.
But and you can choose that yourself when you go to download, and the price starts at 1,000 yen, which is in and around $10 Canadian or American. Depending on the day, whatever the exchange is. And the great thing about Bandcamp, Sam, is that if people feel that it's worth more than $10 or 1,000 yen, they can pay more than that if they so choose.
That's right. And you get generous people who do exactly that, which is great.
You do. Was it Bandcamp when you're reading up about it, they say like there's about 40% of sales on Bandcamp are over and above the starting price.
That's so cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's a totally righteous company. It's incredible.
Yeah, there's great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it is. Johnny's record, Sunrise in Reverse,
Yep.
on Bandcamp. We're gonna be posting all that URL and information in the video description that you can see. You can go down to the video description.
Down there.
Down, and get all the info, the direct link to the album. You can, as always with Bandcamp, you can listen to everything. You can stream it. It's not like you have to do any guesswork. You can listen and say, oh, I like this. I'm going to buy it. That's what we hope you do. And it's been a pleasure to have you here, Johnny.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you, Daisuke.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure talking with you.
All right.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers. Peace.
はい。
おーい。
なんかバンドキャンプの話とかしてましたね、やっぱり。ね。Go to band camp みたいな。
Yes, yes, go to band camp. Go to the camp of band. And buy our music. Yeah.
楽しいインタビューだったな、この時はね。基本的に私はずっとこう聞いてるのが多くて、まあたまにポロポロ喋ってたけど、ね、なんかジョニーさんがいっぱい喋ってくれるよね、本当に。いろんな曲のエピソードとかね。
Yeah. He was mentioning the koto that he played on the record, and I was telling Daisuke, I've got a koto.
そう、なんかサムさんもね、コト持ってるって言って、何この外人たちは、流行ってんのコト。コトブームですか？どうしました？
Well, no, I don't think it's a boom or anything. It's just that somebody gave me this koto.
コトってそんな簡単に誰かからもらえるものなんですかね？
もらいました。
へえ、もらえるんだね。
A lady gave me this koto. And the thing is, you see, it's a koto. It's a really nice koto. But I don't have any...
ブリッジがないんだって。
bridge. So...
なんか今、ただのサーフボードに弦張ってあるだけだよね。
Yeah, I could go surfing with this.
サーフボードストリングスだね。
Yeah.
なるほど。
So, yeah, that's my koto. And you know, Johnny kind of inspired me there, you know, because he had used his. He kind of inspired me to remember about it and think, I got to get some, you know, bridges.
そう、このインタビューでは、まあ、ほぼ全編英語であれだったんですけども、ジョニーさんの持ってることについてもちょっと質問をしたんですよ。なんかことでね、今回録音したんでしょみたいな話をしてたんだけど、その中で、まあ趣味でことやってるんだけど、で自分はねこと触ったことないしよくわかんないんだけどって話をしたら、まあジョニーさんが説明してくれたんだけど、ことはさギターとかと違って各弦をもう固定してチューニングするから、一回チューニングちゃんとしちゃえば別にそれこうポンポンこう弾くので別になんか間違えるとかそういうのではないっていうか、なんかその弦弾けばちゃんとその音鳴るからみたいな感じの、でそんなに難しいもんでもないよみたいな感じの話をインタビューの中ではしてたんだけど、でサムさんがそのインタビューでちょっとこう影響を受けて、あ、そういえば自分もこと持ってたなということで、でもブリッジがないからブリッジをちょっと調達してね、でなんか曲のなんかに使いたいなってさっき話してたんだよね。
Yeah, man, I gotta use this sometime for sure. You know.
Are you gonna sample something, or you actually try to make a song?
No,
from that?
I'd play it. I mean, you know, sampling. I used to do a lot of sampling, Daisuke. Actually, I was really into sampling, and I made a lot of music with samples and stuff. But then I got not so interested in samples because it always sounds the same. You know, you make a sample, you go dong, and you hit it dong, dong, dong,
あ、そっか。
dong. You know, I mean, you can do that sort of multi-sampling thing where you sample it strong and you sample it kind of not so strong, and then you sample it weak, and yeah, you can get a little bit, but it's not the same, you know. You're still just pushing buttons, you know. You're pushing buttons. You're not actually like plucking a string, you know. Because when you know how that is. I mean, sorry, noisy. So you know how it is when you pluck a string. Every time you pluck it, it's a different pluck.
そうだね。
You know,
その
and
まあ
that's
実際の楽器だったらちゃんとこう触った時のアクションでこう音がね、音色が変わるけども、まあサンプリングするとさ、まあ基本的には録音ね、一発撮りでこう一発撮りっていうかこう一回撮ったやつをボタンに配置するやつだから、そのどんなに強く触ろうが優しく触ろうが録音した時の音しかならないので、まあそういうのやってたんだけどちょっと飽きてきてそういうのはやんないって、今は普通に弾きたいっていうことみたいですね。まあそうだよね。
そう
楽器だもんね、実際それね。
Yeah, so I used to be quite interested in samples, and I got less and less interested because they just don't have the expression, you know.
その表現力がやっぱりどうしても足りないっていうね、アコースティックインストゥルメントと比べるとね、そうだよね、確かに。
Yeah, basically. I think they can be very convenient, very handy in certain situations, especially like, you know, yeah, you need some strings or something, you know, if you're a composer for movies or something and can't hire an orchestra, you know, okay, well, there's good string samples, you know, you can use.
そうだね。
That kind of thing is very handy. But generally, I just prefer always to use actual instruments.
そうだね。
Yeah.
なんかジョニーさんもいっぱい楽器ね、なんかマンドリンもやってたし、そのビデオでね。
そう
なんかサムさん
楽器いっぱいあるね。
ね、なんか質問ジョニーさんにしたいってさっき言ってたけど、なんか You have a question to Johnny actually.
Yeah, what was I going to ask Johnny?
あ
What was
の
I going to ask him?
ビデオのエディットの
Oh, right.
ソフトウェ
Yeah,
アが
about that video, Johnny. If Johnny's still watching, he can comment. Maybe he's going to eat dinner or something. But if he's still around, I was just curious about what kind of software he used for that video.
ね、
you know, that,
かっこいい
brother-
面白いね、
Yeah.
ビデオでしたよね。
Yeah, because he had it divided up into different shapes, you know. And I was like, well, I haven't actually seen that exactly before, you know. So I was just curious. What was that? I guess we'll find out. Maybe he'll comment, or if he's not around anymore, we'll call him up at 5 a.m. and say, Johnny, yo, wake up, man. What was that video software you used, man? Something like that.
あ、ジョニーさん、I'm here って。
Oh, he's here. Okay. So Johnny's here. I'm here. What was that video software you used? I think maybe other people watching might want to know too.
なんか
Yeah.
ちょっと変わったなんかねソフトなんじゃないかなっていう気がしてますね。なんか見た感じあんまりこうファミリアじゃないというかね。
そうですね。
珍しいなっていうなんか感じがしましたね。
Yeah. So we'll wait and see if Johnny answers that question. He might be a really slow typer. Right.
まあ
I
いや YouTube もあれじゃないだってレイテンシーがあるでしょなんか。
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, we're waiting for it. Yeah, we're talking about it, but it's already. Yeah.
Oh.
Now Lula comments. Can you read us that one,
はいは
Daisuke?
い。裸足のジョニーさん素敵なビデオでしたっていうこの Barefoot Johnny nice video.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sure Johnny appreciates that.
ねえ。
I thought it was
かっこいい。
it was very well done. Very well done.
なんか着物がさ後ろにこうねあってねかっこいい
That's
よ
a
ね
nice touch. The
ね
kimono behind.
うんかっこいいね
Maybe Daisuke, I should buy a kimono and hang it back there
あだ
instead of these curtains, man.
それもいいじゃんなんかサーカスみたいで
It looks like a circus,
う
right?
んいいよね
But still, a nice kimono. That would be good.
おなんかアンサー来ましたよ
Okay, here we go. Oh, it's a cappella.
何それ
Okay, I've heard of that.
いやソフト
Sure,
な
I've
の
heard of that. He says, I used an app called Acapella.
うーん
I made four separate videos and edited them together in iMovie.
うーん
Oh, now that's a big job, man.
なんか2ソフトウェアですかそしたら
Yeah, he used Acapella and iMovie.
へえなんか難しいねうーん
And by the way, Johnny says the kimono is from his wife's collection.
なるほどへえ着
I
物
thought maybe that kimono was something that Johnny dresses up in at night around the house. No?
いやでも着物かっこいいよねあれね
かっこいい。
かっこいいかっこいい
とってもかっこいいよ。
うん
綺麗。
ねおポールさん
Paul says, I think you guys missed my gag about the radio shows.
ん
What gag was that? Let's see. So my joke is, despite COVID-19, all the barbershops are still open, which is a great relief to Kamikiri as he won't have to do all the haircuts himself.
うんなるほどなるほどなるほどジョークですねこれは
It's a joke.
ポー
It's
ル
a
さん
joke.
の
Yeah,
ジョーク
yeah.
ですねこれはジョークっていうことでいいね大丈夫だ
Yeah,
ね
yeah. It's good. It's
なる
good.
ほど
So I think he's talking about Kamakiri,
そうね多分
the
ね
cat that moves
うん
his
カマキリだね
Kamakiri.
うん
right.
カミキリって書いてあるけど多分ねカマキリじゃないかなこれ
Yeah, you see.
カマキリでしょ
Yeah.
だからまあ
Maybe it's a really sophisticated pun, and he maybe really does know that kami
うん
means hair
神だねで切る
and kiri
Cut
means
だね
cut, and the and the cat is called kamakiri,
カマキリ
which is not kamikiri.
うん
So it's possible that Paul has made an extremely sophisticated
うん
pun in Japanese.
そうね
Or he doesn't know the difference between kama and kami.
うん
And that's also possible.
パンのくだりも last episode で we did it ねなんか
Yeah, yeah,
その
we were talking about puns.
なんか
Dajare.
ダジャ
Pun.
レ言葉のやつのジョークはパンって言いますよ
Yeah,
っていう
yeah, that's a pun.
だからこの紙切りとカマ切りをかけてるのかどうかっていうのはかなりハイレベルの
That's
や
high
つだよ
level,
ね
man.
す
That's
ごい
high level stuff.
うんすごいまあこのあんまり解説をするとねちょっとなんていうかなんかねこうさーってなっちゃうかもしれないんでちょっと日本語の解説はこう今回はちょっと控えようかなと思いますけれどもまあねこういうおっと
Oh, he says, they said Kami Kitty sneaks in and cuts hair. Some mythical creature? Kami Kitty sneaks in and cuts hair. I don't know about that one.
カマキリがここら辺に
Kama Kitty.
かなのことのいやすごくレベルが高いというかちょっと
Level takai ne. High level.
ハイ
We're
レベ
gonna,
ルですよ
we're gonna have to research this.
うん
Heavy
そうね。
research.
その need help
I'll call some of my Japanese scholar friends at the university.
そうね
Well, you know, speaking of addressing this question in the future, Daisuke and I have a little announcement to make about the future,
あ
the
そうですね
immediate future of our show, and that announcement I'll make it first in English, and Daisuke can explain in Japanese. We are going to take a little break from the weekly show. We've been doing this once a week for 17 episodes now, and because of all sorts of time constraints and other situations, we decided to take a little bit of a pause, a little break, and we're going to go to a once a month schedule and just do, for at least a month or two, just do Tokyo Song Celebration like we're doing tonight. And so what we're going to do is the next time we're on, it's going to be a month from now. And we're going to have another version of Tokyo Song Celebration, and our guest will be Morgan Fisher, keyboard player, former member of Mott the Hoople,
Queen とか
Queen, local legend here in Tokyo. So just wanted to let y'all know that our weekly schedule is going to take a little bit of a break for now. And we'll be back next month, second Tuesday in March, with Tokyo Song Celebration Volume 3 featuring Morgan Fisher.
はい
And 日本語バージョンお願いします。
はい、我々ここまでね、毎週火曜日にこのライブ配信やってきておりまして、でまあ2週目がね東京ソングセレブレーション今年から始まって今日がこの2回目なんですけども、で最後の週はカバーナイトやるよっていうことで、やってきてたんですが、なかなかねこの、コロナ禍で、こうリモートでなんか我々ね結構チャレンジしたんですよ。でカバーナイトの前回なんかはねこうシンクルームを使ってセッションしてるやつの動画をねこのライブ配信中に見ていただいたんですけども、それまたやろうとしたんですが、なかなかまたねこうインターネットスピードがこうタイミングが合わないとかでなかなかいいセッションができないとか、結構ねリハーサルもしたし、でチャンスがあればこうオンラインでそれもシンクルームでリハーサルして、でチャンスがあればこう録音してでビデオを撮ってってやったりしてみたけども、なかなか難しくて、でなんかこうライブ配信こうやってやるんだったらやっぱ本当は演奏とかね音楽をねこう喋ってるのもいいんだけど、音楽をこうやりたいんだけど、じゃあ過去のビデオをこう探してくんのもまた大変だしっていうので、ちょっとお休みをいただきたいなということでございます。でとりあえず、月1で最低でもやってはいくので、次回は東京ソングセレブレーション第3回目の、モーガン・フィッシャーさん、クイーンのねサポートでメンバーでやってましたモーガン・フィッシャーさんがゲストに来て、東京ソングセレブレーション第3回目、はい、3月の2週目火曜日にね8時からやりたいと思います。でちょっと状況がもうちょいね良くなってきて、なんかそのシンクルームのセッションもまたできるとかね、もうちょいコロナが落ち着いて実際この部屋で2人で演奏できるとかってなったらまたね話は変わりますけども、とりあえず緊急事態宣言も March 7th でしょ確か、とりあえず、だからなんかちょっとだけね様子を見るっていう感じかな。ちょっと、世の中の状況とね、そういう感じでね少しお休みをいただくことになりました。はい。
Yep, there it is. So we want to thank Jonny for joining us this evening and talking about his music and his new record. We want to thank everybody for watching the show who's been watching it every week, and let everybody know that we'll do our best to get back to a weekly schedule when everything is feeling right to do that. We're not quitting. We're not quitting. We ain't going anywhere. We'll be here in Tokyo. And we're going to do our best to keep things going, keep music happening. Yeah.
でコメントが、いただきまして、妖怪だそうです。紙切りって。妖怪だって。妖怪わかります？
いや、わかんない。
妖怪ってモンスターって言ったらいいの？ゴーストって言ったらいいの？なんかディーモンっていうの？なんかジャパニーズ。
Okay, so the kamikiri was maybe a kind of demon or a yokai?
ディーモンの妖怪のone of kind だそうです。で、ルーガー・ベネットさんも黒髪切りの妖怪っていうなんかそのエピソードがあるみたいですね。
黒髪切り。黒
髪切りっていうなんかストーリーのエピソードが、妖怪のエピソードが exists ということで。
I see. So that might be what Paul is thinking about.
そうだと思います。すごいハイレベルってこのルーラさんも言ってますよ。
Yeah.
これはレベル高いね、ポー。もう、スーパーハイレベルジョーク。Thank you.
Dude, Paul, man.
ちょっと
I
もうちょい、
I got more, more
そう
respect
だね。
for Paul now, you know.
Next time もうちょい easy joke please だね。なんか even me understand.
Yeah, keep the level of the jokes so we can understand them, Paul.
But nice
Jeez.
though, nice. That's cool.
Oh, man.
That's cool.
Awesome.
ね。
Awesome.
そうい
And
えば
Johnny
さ、
says, oh,
はい
yes.
アマビエ知ってますか、サムさん。アマビエ。
Amabie.
アマビエ。妖怪です、
全然
これも、アマビエ。
Ah.
アマビエってね、妖怪なんだけど、なんか、キャラクター、その妖怪のキャラクターで、なんか、ちょっと流行ったんですよ。ちょっとブームだったんですよ。なんか、
知らない。
コロナがさ、こう、COVID-19 のやつで、
Okay. Amabie.
キャラクターあったでしょ。
That character can kill viruses, right?
そう。That's 妖怪です。
That's a yokai. Okay.
で、so many different type of 妖怪でしょ in Japan は。なんか、kind of アニメーションとかも also。ね、there are。で、なんか、その一つがこの紙切りっていうやつっぽいよ。その、コメントによるとね。
なるほど。
なるほどですよね。
なるほど。
なるほどですよね。
面白いね。勉強しました。
ね。
今日よく勉強しましたね。
ね。面白い。そして、
So anyway.
ジョニーさんが、my pleasure ということで、Peace、ありがとうございます、ジョニーさん。また。
And Lula says, Paul san, uber geek. Paul is an uber geek. Total geek. There you go.
BBC Radio はい。では。
The Bennett-Kuroda Show, bringing puns from all around the world together and explaining them.
なんか
It's very educational.
ジョークを教えるラジオじゃない、ライブ配信番組に、ね、
ライブ配信ね
なってるね。じゃあ今日はこの辺でという感じかな。ね。
という感じね。
はい。
そう
今日もありがとうございました。Thank you for
ありが
watching
とうござい
everyone
まし
and
た。
see you next month.
Next
Second Tuesday. はい。
Yep. We'll be back.
はい。では今日はありがとうございました。
Peace.